Okay, do your thing now, Stan.
Hello, Richard. On the 20th of June, my parish, St. Lawrence, is slated for a massive eviction. Many parishioners who were born into the parish and have been there week after week, year after year, and decade after decade shall not be there to see you take possession. The undaunted at St. Casimir expressed in a degree of clarity and with less reserve your victims, the expendables' feelings. The fathers Robert, Begin, and Moroni both spoke as the clergy should in the defense of their people and parish. Now, this and other details have gotten notice in Rome, and this to your great dismay and discomfort. Beginning around April Fool's Day, we noticed an escalation in the disinformation campaign. We have noticed a pressuring of clergy to keep us in line. We hear you feel insulted by our impudence. What are you going to do? Close the church? Chase away the people? Remove the priests and sell the patrimony on internet trading sites? Oh, excuse me. That is what you have been doing, even when canon law forbids it. You have chosen to exercise a maximization of authority and power. Your will may very well be executed over our protests, but the manner of your reign is recognized by us. Please, do not insult us after you wound us by spinning endless fictions. If a couple individuals greet you after Mass, do not tell us and the world that the parish welcomed you and agrees with your vision. On the 16th of May, after Mass, in the school building, during a coffee and cookie social, 60 signatures were signed in 5 minutes to a statement in defiance of your planned extinction of our parish. We especially noted Canon 120 in regards to the perpetuity of parishes. The original sheets are being sent to Benedict, our Pope. We are sending copies to you, Richard, our Bishop, by certified mail. On that Sunday of eviction, your retinue, your security detail, the others that you require to be there, and people who have not seen the church in ages may come for that joyless, drab, and lifeless liturgy, and that wretched speech that you have delivered some 4 dozen times in these 3 counties. Be fully aware that the majority and the core of the parish will not say amen. They have said no. Sincerely, Stanislav Zadnik.
Yay!
Now you know why we call him our color commentator. Thank you, Stan.
Very nice.
That. Now a final word from our Endangered Catholic President, Pat Singleton.
Let Brian go. Oh yes, please.
Brian Cummings.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I'm late. I was in a meeting with some other media as well about an unrelated issue. But I'm just happy to be here to support the individuals in the parishes that are working to basically try to maintain some semblance of dignity in their neighborhoods. I think it's extremely important. I know there's a lot of people that have asked me what is the status of the Interior Landmarks Ordinance, and I'd be happy to take some time this evening when appropriate to answer questions about that. I don't think we have a whole lot of time right now because the council meeting will be starting soon. But I do know, I can say briefly, that there's been a lot of misunderstanding about the ordinance, first of all, in that even though it was introduced last year, we've learned a lot about other ordinances throughout the country. And in general, unfortunately, I think for the churches that are being closed, it would be unlikely that even if I was to be able to get hearings and have it passed, that the current churches that are being closed from the Catholic diocese would necessarily be qualified or be looked at for interior designations. And I know that people are not happy about that. Overall, though, I've got to try to look long-term in ways in which we can try to maintain the most important architectural history of the city. And I know that that's a very difficult issue. Nonetheless, I think that many people, even having realized what I just said, would still like us to go and proceed to get approval of that landmark ordinance, because there are a handful, probably less than 10 churches in the region or in the city specifically that we would like to protect. But they aren't, unfortunately in your situation, they're not necessarily on the closure list right now. But as I said, I'd be happy to talk more in detail with people this evening about why that is. And again, I thank you for all of your hard work in terms of fighting for what you believe in relative to the churches you represent in your neighborhoods. Thank you.
Mr. Cummings,
Sure.
Stephen Litt from the Plain Dealer said that churches, some of the churches in Cleveland should be saved at all costs. That's what he said.
Thank you very much for your indulgence. Sure.
I think there's something to be said for any effort we can do to bring the bishop's plan into question. Even if legislation comes late, what it does is cast a shadow over the entire plan, the timing, and the expedited manner with which he is trying to carry it out. So anything that comes, even if it seems to come late, I think is coming in time to somehow cast a shadow over his decision making, his initiative.